comments on that, Mr. Yakum. Now recognize Ms. Chu of California.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Gwynn, I was alarmed to learn that for families receiving both TANF and child support, that there are many states that actually retain some or all of their child support payments as a way of reimbursing the state and federal government for the TANF benefits. That a non-custodial parent makes the child support payment they owe, but instead of passing that money on to the custodial parent, the state keeps it. So states can even do this to families who used to receive TANF benefits as a way of reimbursing themselves for past TANF payments. So it's outrageous to me that states can essentially withhold child support from parents and children that are already struggling. So, Mr. Gwynn, can you expand on how this practice negatively impacts low-income families and children and why you recommend ending this practice entirely? What benefits do we see when custodial parents and children receive their full child support payments?
Certainly. Thank you for that. Thank you for that question. The policy of denying current and support to current TANF families, in some cases former TANF families, has a number of negative effects on those families. First, it denies the children in those families the resources that could have been used to better provide for their food, their housing, their school supplies. And I would point out that families that are receiving TANF benefits are very low. In every state, the TANF benefit doesn't reach 60% of the poverty line for a family of three. In something like 17 states, it doesn't reach 20% of the poverty line. So these are very low-income families. Every dollar counts in terms of helping them. And honestly, any dollar that you're not passing through is another dollar that is pushing them toward poverty, into poverty, or further into poverty. And not passing these dollars through also makes it less likely that non-custodial parents actually pay the child support because they know the support's not going to benefit their children. So they have less incentive to actually pay it. And relatedly, when non-custodial parents don't pay child support, they're less likely to be otherwise involved in their children's lives. So, and we've seen evidence also that when dollars are passed through, school performance for children go up. So there are a lot of factors here that speak to the importance of passing through these dollars. As you mentioned, some states don't pass through anything. There are some states that don't pass through a dollar of child support. Most states pass through something. There are a few states, including Illinois, that pass through everything. So as everyone on this panel has mentioned, this goal of cost recovery has been declining in the child support system, but it's still there. And I think you're hearing some level of consensus that we need to change that. It just needs to be eliminated.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. And Ms. Chesnick, I do appreciate that the National Child Support Engagement Association is also recommending that Congress end this practice of states retaining these child support statements. But I wanted to ask you about another one of your recommendations, which is that Congress should expand income withholding for non-custodial parents engaged in non-traditional employment like gig workers and independent contracting. Given the rise of the gig economy in recent years, this seems like a no-brainer to improve child support enforcement. Can you talk about the current process for collecting and enforcing child support payments from these type of workers and how federal legislation could improve that process?
Yes, thank you for the question. It is difficult to enforce obligations for people in the gig economy. Our most effective enforcement tool is income withholding. It's very seamless and it is not able to be used in cases involving people in the gig economy who are independent contractors. So we have to rely on other enforcement tools in those cases, which oftentimes means that families don't receive consistent support. And sometimes just missing one or two payments may be enough to put them back on, depending on public benefits.
Thank you. And I'd like to state for the record that I strongly agree with Mr. Gwynn's statement on the issue of domestic violence about the need to ensure that parenting time agreements and the process for establishing them include safeguards to protect children and adults from domestic violence. Yeah. And also, Ms. Chesnick, I am very interested in your statement that non-custodial parents have incomes that are below the poverty line, and that it is important for them to have adequate employment and supportive services, and that there are states that are engaging in this and supporting that kind of thing. And I hope we can continue to do that and expand on it. And I yield back.